You know what's crazy? People are always in my fucking business, worried about what I'm doing, what Floyd is doing, what Floyd ain't doing, what I do got, what I don't got. Just know, I'm gonna stay in my lane. I ain't gonna fuck with nobody, and I don't want nobody fucking with me. If I go on vacation, my fault.
You come home, I'm gonna put you in a better position. Nigga, for you to go Rick Ross, that's a slap in the face.
The tension is already sizzling. Floyd Mayweather came out swinging, and he didn't hold back. With folks constantly prying into his business, Floyd let it be known he's done explaining himself. People always worried about what I'm doing. What I got, what I don't got, he snapped. But here's the kicker: while he claims to stay in his lane, he also made it very clear, don't cross him. And when he threw that shot about someone going to Rick Ross, phew, that wasn't just shade, that was a direct slap. Floyd just lit the fuse and aimed it straight at Charleston White, warning him to stay far away from the Big Meech drama unless he wants smoke. This wasn't some random clapback, this was a calculated warning. But Charleston White ain't budging. We see just how real it's getting. 10 toes down, no fear, no apology. That man is stomping through interviews like a storm, dropping raw takes and unfiltered truth. Most folks duck when the pressure hits, not Charleston. He's been loud about one thing: there's no concrete proof Big Meech snitched. No paperwork, no names, nothing. But at the same time, he said what many are thinking: 50 Cent still had every right to feel betrayed. Because let's not forget, Meech and Little Meech linked up with people 50 been beefing with straight behind his back. And one of those so-called ops, yep, you guessed it, Floyd Mayweather.
Be a perfect example on you gotta be very careful on who you bring in and who you put on. That's Little Meech right there. And if you don't know, he's the son of Big Meech. And if you don't know who that is, well, Big Meech was one of the biggest drug dealers in Detroit, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, long story short, he went in jail. He came out of jail and he started linking up with 50 Cent's ops. Now, bear in mind, 50 Cent made BMF and put Little Meech on BMF.
Things take an even more intense turn. Floyd ain't playing games no more. Behind closed doors, word is he's heated, and if he ever crosses paths with Charleston, it's on sight, period. No warning shots, just smoke. But this raises some serious questions. Is Floyd really riding for Big Meech and trying to defend the family name? Or is this a slick, low-key way to rattle 50 Cent's cage? One thing's for sure, this beef is bubbling, and there's way more to it than just street loyalty. The optics are messy, the motives unclear, and the streets are watching.
Do your research, you find out that there's no paperwork on Big Meech. So if you go do your research, you find out that there's no paperwork on Big Meech. That's why you hadn't seen no paperwork. It's all hearsay. Somebody saying he told, or somebody saying he used Tammy Cowens to set up Cuffy. Well, when you do your research and you look at the court documents that's on Big Meech, you see that Tammy Cowens took the stand and said that she did this on her own accord without Big Meech's knowledge.
The chaos is full-blown. What started as a quiet rumble has exploded into a full-out storm. Floyd and Charleston are now deep in the mix with no signs of backing down. And Charleston, he came back swinging. In his latest sit-down, he tore into the rumors about Big Meech being a snitch, calling it all talk with zero receipts. But then he went further, claiming people out here are accusing Big Meech of using Tammy Cowens to set up folks like Cuffy without facts or evidence. He called it reckless. He called it lazy. And then plot twist, Charleston flipped the entire script. He accused Big Meech and Little Meech of turning their back on loyalty and fully siding with 50 Cent, the very man who might just be playing both ends. Phew, now this is a saga.
50 position. I go get your son. And at the time when I meet your son, he's not making the best decisions in life. You know, they say was strung out on them perks. And they like to pop them perks. 50 take him somewhat, I wouldn't say clean him up, but spend 2 years in acting classes that 50 paid for. It was hard finding somebody to play the role of Big Meech, so we pick your son. 50, according to 50, he's put over $5 million into the pockets of Lil Meech and the family's, financial, over $5 million. He's helped them make. Nigga blew your son up, and we bring you back to life. Prior to the BMF series, Big Meech was buried alive. Wasn't nobody saying his name. Jeezy wasn't really shouting him out no more. He was buried alive. So 50 bring life back to him, put his son in a position, turn his son into a millionaire, and he actually turned out to be a pretty good actor. You come home, I'm gonna put you in a better position. For you to go fuck Rick Ross, that's a slap.
Charleston White broke it down with cold honesty, and honestly, he made some valid points. According to him, 50 Cent had every right to crash out the way he did, because when no one else was stepping up, not even Rick Ross, it was 50 who held Big Meech down from the shadows. While Meech was locked up, it was 50 who cleaned Little Meech up, dropped cash for acting classes, and put him front and center in the BM series. That wasn't just a role, that was a life changer. Charleston even said 50 stepped up like a father figure, shaping Little Meech into something bigger than just a legacy name. So when Big Meech linked up with Rick Ross, someone 50 has openly beefed with, Charleston called it what it was, a betrayal, a straight slap in the face. And in his words, whatever 50 throws at them after that, they earned it. But how did this all start? Word is, Big Meech hit up Rick Ross fresh out of prison looking for fast money. But why would he need that?
You and Rick Ross. That is desperation at the points that you hear things from him at this point. Because if you're looking for someone, it ain't that hard to find me. I'm around. And I'm not used to having an altercation with law enforcement. I'm just not used to saying I'm going to do something to a correctional officer or to a police officer or anyone who's been under oath that's going to say with no problem everything that you've said and everything that's happened immediately after.
The reason becomes crystal clear. Apparently, Little Meech had already burned through the bag 50 gave him. After all the investments, acting gigs, and industry opportunities, the money was gone. So when 50 found out Big Meech was secretly doing business with Rick Ross behind his back, that's when he flipped. That's when he called Big Meech a snitch, dropping the hammer with no hesitation. And Little Meech, he wasn't staying silent. He hit 50's DMs, emotional and heated. They just told me you unfollowed me on Instagram. Now you managing Skill Abba when I brought him around you. You could hear the pain. He went on, you act like I'm your enemy. I've only showed you love and loyalty. F Ross, but he helped my dad pay bills until our next season starts. That wasn't just a DM, that was a plea for respect.
You took a picture with Rick Ross. You like a hoe. Put your back against the wall and just slide down. You already know, car show going down June 7th. Get online right now, get your tickets right now. But for the hustlers, I want y'all to understand you gotta stop making business personal. Get your money. You don't know these don't know you. And for anybody going against Ricky Rose, let me have this. I've been putting my foot up you since for the last 15 years. Everything you touch crumble. Why you think Rose on top? We don't take this shit.
We saw just how cold 50 Cent can get when he feels crossed. Little Meech might have been speaking from the heart, but 50 wasn't hearing none of it. He turned around and announced BM was canceled just like that. One move and the main money stream for Little Meech vanished. Fans were split. Some called Little Meech real for being vulnerable. Others said he folded too easily and should have clapped back for the way 50 disrespected his father. And like clockwork, Boozy jumped in with his 2 cents, never missing a chance to stir the pot. But no matter whose side you're on, the truth is getting cut off by 50. That hits hard. Let's not forget, 50 Cent made Little Meech a star, opened doors most folks only dream of. You think Meech and his pops would want to patch things up, maybe hold a meeting, mend fences, protect the brand. But instead, they doubled down. They chose war, and the shade didn't stop there. Little Meech started moving real different. He was spotted hanging with Floyd Mayweather multiple times bold, considering Floyd is now tangled up in all this drama. But Meech wasn't hiding it. He and his pops posted pics with Floyd and Rick Ross, all smiles, no remorse. At the Lucky Strike bowling alley in Miami, Little Meech dropped a full slideshow flexing with Ross and Floyd, captioning it "Real Power." That wasn't just a caption, that was a clear shot at 50 Cent. And then came the cherry on top, another post showing him, Big Meech, and Floyd vibing at a private location. But it didn't end there. A video surfaced of Little Meech and Floyd courtside at a Lakers game, grinning like nothing was wrong. With all the smoke around 50 Cent, that move looked real calculated. One thing's for sure, this ain't just petty beef anymore, this is war with receipts.
He asked me to help him with Mayweather promotion.
Right.
Then as he actually got in and I took a look, I realized there is no Mayweather promotions. There's no LLC, there's no seal, it's not incorporated. It's just
a name.
Yeah,
that comes up people's mouths.
Right. See, technically, Floyd is a Golden Boy fighter. See what I'm saying? He fights on every Golden Boy card. They do all the footwork on
like
every
the negotiations and the imprint, the paperwork.
They built the whole show. So when he says helping with Mayweather promotions and it's not there, I go, okay, I know what he means. He wants me to
get it together.
Put it together for him. So I do TNT promotions. I get it all the way together. Sign the actual fighters. We had acquisition of Gamboa. It's like I had to negotiate a release. It was $1.2 million. Andre Durrell, IBF champion Billy Dip, WBA champion Celestino Calabero. So we brought them over. I brought him over while Floyd was, still incarcerated.
Yeah.
Then he comes home. There's the Let's Get Floyd Back in Pocket campaign. It goes on where it's $300,000 chains getting bought and buying new Lamborghini and all these new things, and I'm sitting there going, yo, when you gonna give me the money?
Because you're already invested.
Right, like when you gonna give me your half of the money back. But I ain't trying to press him because he just got out of jail. Right. So it's like, let him cool his heels before you.
Was that in the millions?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you sitting there big, and I'm like, yo, so when, but see, the fighters are an asset in themselves. They are that talent, regardless. Right. So I'm looking at him going, so there ain't no pressure there, but I'm saying, when is he gonna say he wants to give me the other half of it? Why I gotta ask you for it?
Right.
And then when
are we talking over $2 million?
It's about that.
Oh, okay.
At that point, it was, invested in.
All right.
So look, he goes, when he finally does bring up the actual the situation, he acted like he didn't know anything. Like, I didn't tell y'all to do that. I didn't tell you to do that.
Oh, man.
And I'm looking at him, and he looked in my face saying,
we gotta rewind the clock to really understand how deep this drama runs. Everyone in the game knows that 50 Cent and Rick Ross have been beefing for years, and it's never been low-key. It all started over something petty Ross said 50 gave him a dirty look backstage, and boom, that was all it took. Next thing you know, diss tracks were flying, interviews got disrespectful, and 50 took every chance to drag Ross back to his infamous past as Officer Ricky. 50 clowned him hard for pretending to be a street kingpin when he used to work as a correctional officer. He even called him a straight-up fraud during a wild 2015 interview with Tim Westwood. And in another sit-down, 50 went even colder, said Ross was irrelevant and that he had zero respect for his career. But Ross wasn't exactly playing nice either. He clapped back in his own shady way, calling 50 a big boy and acting like none of the shots bothered him. That's mutual hateful throttle. But if the Ross beef was predictable, the fallout with Floyd Mayweather, that shook everybody. Because at one point, 50 and Floyd were tight like brother tight. They were everywhere together. Interviews, clubs, red carpets, even landing the cover of DXCL magazine like a real power duo. 50 was Floyd's ride or die, always holding him down. But all that changed in 2012, and it was downhill from there.
The computer say, Floyd said, Nelly 50. I'm like, what did he say me for? Nelly your first baby mama, Melissa, then took your fiance. Say that.
Things got ugly fast. Floyd got locked up on a domestic violence charge, and that jail time was the start of their friendship unraveling. And make no mistake, this ain't just industry smoke, this is personal. While Floyd was behind bars, he allegedly asked 50 to step in and manage his empire, TMT, Mayweather Promotions, the whole brand. And 50, he delivered. He tried to build everything from the ground up, but what he walked into, pure chaos. None of the paperwork was right, nothing was registered properly, and 50 ended up pouring over $1 million of his own money into saving Floyd's mess. And what did Floyd do when he got out? Instead of saying thank you, he flipped on 50. He accused him of trying to steal the company, refused to pay him back, and threw their whole friendship in the trash. Betrayal, ego, and money a dangerous mix that left both men with scorched earth between them.
This is a special ASLELS challenge for you, Floyd. If you can read one full page of a Harry Potter book, Nick, I'll give $750,000 to whatever charitable organization you want to. The bucket eye.
While Floyd was out here dragging 50 Cent's name through the mud, the real irony, 50 and his crew were actually trying to help him get back on his feet. Word is, they were hustling behind the scenes, running a quiet Get Floyd Back in Pocket campaign, doing more for him than most would ever know. It mirrored what Rick Ross would later try to do for Big Meech. But here's where it gets twisted. If there's one thing 50 don't play about, it's loyalty. So when Floyd turned around and started spinning fake narratives, that was the final straw. 50 fired back hard, but the media twisted the whole situation and made him look like the villain yet again. Meanwhile, Floyd wasn't letting up either. He clapped back by calling 50 a male boxing groupie with a failed rap career. Feud out at T1 point, they tried to clean it up, told the press everything was cool, that they'd squashed the drama, and were boys again. But that piece didn't last a minute. Floyd started mocking 50's rocky relationship with his son, Marquise, while 50 blasted Floyd for allegedly sleeping with his best friend's girl. The friendship was already on life support, but then it turned venomous. 50 dropped one of the darkest accusations yet, saying Floyd had a twisted connection to the tragic murder-suicide of Earl Hayes and his wife, Stephanie Mosley. According to 50, Floyd was on Facetime when the tragedy went down. Tell everybody why you was on Facetime when he unlived Jessica and himself. 50 said, because he was confronting you about messing with his wife. That's not beef, that's war. Just when folks thought 50 might back off, he went full savage. He publicly challenged Floyd to read one page from a Harry Potter book, promising to donate $750,000 to charity if he could pull it off. Floyd tried to flex his way out by posting checks worth $72 million, claiming he didn't need charity or games. But the can't read joke stuck, and Floyd couldn't shake the illiterate cloud that followed him around after that. Floyd clapped back with his own challenge, get in the ring and settle it like men. Folks thought the fight might actually go down in 2014, but it never happened. Then in 2018, Floyd turned petty into an art form. He invited Taylor Mari, who was suing 50 over revenge content, to perform at his nightclub. That was the death blow. Their friendship was done for real. Floyd went on a scorched earth rant via Instagram, writing a savage open letter calling 50 a snitch, mocking his rap career, and accusing him of being a jealous, bitter man who couldn't even keep his own son close. After that, there was nothing left to say. So when 50 saw Big Meech and Little Meech posted up with Floyd, smiling in pics like it was all love, that hit deep. To 50, it was betrayal all over again. Of course, 50 didn't let that slide. He dropped a clip of Little Meech chopping it up with Rick Ross, joking that they were probably plotting how Ross could slide Big Meech some free wings from Wingstop. But that was just the start. 50 kept jabbing. He posted a shady comparison between Little Meech and Michael Rainey JRB, the star of Power Book 2, Ghost, who had just snagged a knock award. He didn't say it directly, but the message was clear. Meech ain't on that level. Then came the real blow. 50 dropped an AI-edited video where he offered to show Little Meech the good life, but said he was too busy trying to copy his dad's footsteps. Straight disrespect out of T first glance. It might seem extreme that 50 is coming so hard for Little Meech, especially since Little Meech wasn't even caught up in the snitching accusations aimed at Big Meech. But 50 finally told his side, and when he did, everything hit different. When Boozy called him out for throwing dirt on Little Meech, 50 didn't dodge. He said, "I did more for Meech than anyone in his life, Boozy. That's why I responded like that. If he got locked up, I was the first one he called. I bailed him out every time." But the last straw, seeing Little Meech laugh at a shady post about his dad. That's when 50 said, "Oh, he a snake too. He belonged with him." And just to hammer it home, 50 reminded everyone how deep his support ran. He got Little Meech into rehab, tried to school him on how to move smart, and even told Big Meech straight up, "Your son don't need height, he needs guidance." But instead of listening, they sided with the ops. And once 50 feels betrayed, ain't no coming back.
Biggest mistake was getting on camera with Rick Ross, running to the internet. Rick Ross was wrong for putting Big Meech out there, knowing he doing bidding with 50. Rick Ross using Meech. Rick Ross using him, homie, knowing that there's a beef between me and this guy. So to do this video and then put it out there was a slap in the face to 50. And I done put everybody in position. Now, I'm with 50. While you were gone, Rick Ross didn't reach out to your son. Try to put him in his position where he can make $5 million. Did nobody reach out to you? Rick Ross didn't give you no money off using your name, your likeness or whatever in that song. He didn't give you no kickback for that. So if he really f***ing with you, he could have put the concert on without putting you in the mix. But they playing tit for tat. So 50 ain't wrong.
So honestly, 50 Cent ain't wrong for feeling the way he does. He came out and said it plainly. "I thought about it. I think he was uncomfortable with me and Meech's relationship." While 50 was trying to school Big Meech on responsibility, Floyd was out here glamorizing the same lifestyle that landed Meech behind bars. 50 warned Little Meech to stop blowing through money, while his dad bragged about how he used to wild out with cash like it was a badge of honor. That's when 50 dropped a real bomb. He said he had to personally send Little Meech to rehab after he showed up high on set. According to actor Russell Hornsby, something was way off during a weapons test. Little Meech was so lit, he straight up threw up on set. Then he told 50 that he found whippets in Little Meech's truck. And 50, he didn't even know what that was. "What the hell is a whippet?" he asked. Turns out it's nitrous oxide gas used in BB guns. That's not just reckless. That's dangerous. So now imagine this, after everything 50 poured into this family, the mentorship, the bailouts, the career launch, he sees Little Meech out here chilling with Floyd and Rick Ross, laughing it up like nothing happened. That cut deep. It wasn't just disrespect, it was betrayal of the highest order. Even Charleston White said it himself, the biggest mistake Big Meech made wasn't the alleged snitching. It was posting that video with Rick Ross and then trying to pretend like it was nothing. If there was ever a chance for 50 to squash the beef, bury the drama, and keep the BM series alive, that door got slammed the minute Big Meech and Little Meech started rolling tight with Floyd Mayweather. And let's be real, Floyd knows exactly what he's doing. He's not just being petty. This looks like a straight up revenge campaign, and he's using Big Meech and Little Meech as pawns to strike at 50 where it hurts most his legacy. Word on the street is that Floyd's taking this so personal, he's willing to steamroll anyone in his path, even Charleston White. Yeah, you heard that right. Allegedly, Floyd's been working behind the scenes trying to get Charleston locked up again. If that's true, that's a whole new level of grimy. But now the real question, what do y'all think? Is Floyd Mayweather really trying to lift Big Meech and Little Meech back up? Or is he just playing puppet master, using their beef with 50 Cent to settle old scores? Drop your thoughts in the comments, we want to hear it all. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you're here for the real tea. And hit that bell icon so you never miss a drop. Because trust, with drama this wild, you don't want to blink.